Anybody who wishes to join, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody who's joined. It's another big OBS kicking in. There we go, Stream Elements loaded up. I don't know whether there's any other way than you chatting to let me know if you're in here. It's just a quick update because I made my first sourdough on live stream, so it seems only fitting that I'll show you what happened with it. It's been in the fridge overnight, resting, or proofing I think they call it. It's different to baking a normal loaf, it takes a lot longer. This has been sat in the fridge overnight, and look at it now. When I expected growth, but that's just something spectacular. Also need to feed the sourdough starter this morning. I haven't done that yet. I'm not entirely sure the time is. It's 11:30. She's running around, running a little bit behind on the sourdough. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. This one, I'm not sure about at all. Ooh, still alive. Let's do that. Quick feed. Do some heat as well. But like this has been out resting now for 2 hours. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody who's just joined us. This is the Ginger Kitchens. We just had a little catch up this morning. Give everybody an update on what happened with the sour bread, which hasn't even gone in yet. We literally just turned the oven on. I thought I'd give you all a few minutes before it starts. I've done a typical barbecue boy there, and I forgot to turn the oven on 20 minutes ago. I keep completely forget to turn it started barbecue. I'm just washing the bowl out. Mixing bowl. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys and gals. Don't know what you all like to be referred to these days. Don't know what my average age viewer is at the moment. I don't know how to send out a notification. I'm assuming you've all got them. Howdy. Good morning, good morning. I don't know who I'm talking to. Give us a shout in the chat, let us know who's in. I'm not entirely sure if the notification system works or how it works on Twitch, so not entirely sure. I know if you're if you're there or not. If there's somebody there and you can give me a quick shout just in the chat to let me know you're here, that would be great. Just having a catch up this morning, just about to put the sourdough starter in the oven. Remember ever to turn the oven on. Good start. And need to feed the sourdough starters. Seems we still have the wholemeal one as well, but we have no wholemeal flour left, I'm afraid. So it won't hurt it to be fed with white flour. The main feed that you need is actually the white in the grain anyway. It just means it won't have the brown in there right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It says I have 2 viewers. Don't mind a couple of lurkers, but if you are in the chat, it'd be nice to get a quick hello. Just let us know who's here with us today. And no fancy flowers or anything at the moment. Just working on the basics. $650 in there, it's going to be fed with at least 150. And then there's quite the possibility I should actually take some out and use it, to be fair. See, that's already got too much in it. So if I fed that now, it would explode over the top. Good morning, and that's just joined. This is Ginger Kitchens. You are welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just doing a quick catch up, feeding the starters this morning, and going to put in my first sourdough loaf ever. Sorry about the other camera, it's slightly overexposed, I get that. But I have to contact them today to find out if there's a way to change the exposure. It's just a cheap one that I bought to test out. If I can't change the exposure, it kind of ruins it because it's far too white. Like, that doesn't look as white as it is. That's got a better representation. This one here of the colour, which I might say is looking beautiful right now. I have a completely separate screen now for chat up here, so, and it's in big, so I shouldn't be able to miss any of it. Of course, you know, mine is about. Let's see if I can change the size. No. I want to slow it down. I want to change my font size. Does anybody in the chat know how to change the font size in the chat? I think it'd be big enough, but don't know yet. Good to see people in the chat, so I will proceed. I'm literally feeding my sourdoughs, my starters, and then I'm going to put in my first ever sourdough loaf, that is if I don't knock all the air out of it before we get to the oven. The lid wasn't quite on correctly there. Not to worry, we shall be fine. all works out in the end. This is the Ginger Kitchens. You are all welcome here. You know, I've got about 400 grams of starter there. So we feed equal measures. This is actually a wholemeal starter, but I haven't got any wholemeal left, so in the interest of keeping it alive, we just feed it for now, and then I'll throw away some of the top and replenish it later on. This isn't hot water, by the way. This is boiled and then allowed to cool down, so distilled essentially. We have chlorines and we have limescale in the water over here, so it's just easier to boil it up and you get nice clean water to use for your starter. Actually distill water to do with my doughs as well. I just find it works better. So when I'm making my breads and stuff. So this is a starter feed, so it's meant to be fairly thick. Well, not fairly thick, that's a lie. I do 60-40. A lot of people do 50-50. Some people do it 70-30, but it's 70% water as opposed to 70% feed. I do 60% flour, 40% water as a general rule. I like it slightly thicker, just to get lumps out, and then I know it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. But if you make your mixture that way, then you can, like I say, you can always add water if it's too thick. Like this is about right now, but only if it actually was lumpless. Like if it didn't have any lumps in it. The problem is with the flour, if I overwork it, it'll become glutinous, and then the gluten will stretch out, and then it won't incorporate properly into my actual mix. But if I don't get out the lumps, they will become sour within the mix. Sorry guys, don't know what happened there. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah, become glutinous within the mix. And it'll cause like an acidity, and can cause it to, well, ruin your dough really. You can kill your sourdough starter, and it will transfer through into your loaf when you're baking. Why is that going on and off? What is going on here? I don't know what's going on. Sorry guys. If I can figure it out, I will. See how it's coming up nicely. It's not quite smooth yet. Keep incorporating as you go around the edges. Any big bits. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See how another person has just come in. So this is just the feed for my sourdough starter. Just making sure it's as smooth as possible, so that when I feed it in there, it can actually incorporate properly. So there you go. We've got big air bubbles in there. And then take from the actual sourdough starter and put it directly into the feed, and then mix the feed in to your feed, sorry. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, whoever just joined in. Feel free to give us a shout out in the chat, guys, so we know who's here. You don't have to sit there and have a full conversation, but it would be nice to know you're all there. If not, by all means, give us a follow. We don't mind lurkers in the background. I'm going to do this over the sync, guys, because past dictates this isn't going to go well. We didn't spill any. So now this one here lives in the fridge. I haven't actually used too much of this starter. I've only used it once, but not for a loaf. I actually used it just an experiment to see what it tasted like. I actually took some out and fried it up in the pan and made it like a flatbread. And I got to admit, I did not like what I tasted. Not a big whole grain fan at the best of times. But even less so when I found out that it was slightly too sour, ironically enough, because of the acidity of the vinegar from not feeding it in the appropriate amount of time before using it. So when you feed it, if the food lasts for say 12 hours, you want to be using it on that 11th hour, or maybe even slightly sooner, because you don't want all the yeast to die off before obviously you get to use it. But you also want the yeast to still have some food so it can generate some bubbles and form its own unique blend, if you like. That's one. On the outside. Like I said, this one lives in here. Keeps it cool. Keeps it from stops it from overactivating. Stops it from using up too much of the actual feed. Unlike this one, which I intend on using every day, depending on how this tastes. Which is a seeded sourdough loaf, by the way. With several different seeds within there. And I'm also going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top because roasted sesame seeds, man. Oh yeah, please. Feed me, baby. See the bubbles in that, guys? See how it runs through? Oh, doesn't like that. There we go. These are the air bubbles coming through all the way around. Still out live active yeast. Oh, it's got a good pungent smell to it. So now it's time to feed it. Feed me! I've also found that the conditions are better for the doughs and things if I keep the lid on and there's pressure within the jar. It seems to just hold it better. This one has 150 flour, 150 water, an exact 50-50 mix. Because this one's slightly thicker anyway. It's also very much a hungry, very, 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 very hungry yeast culture. So I'm just having to think because I normally take some out, but I'm actually going to use some later on today, so to make the next loaf. And that's the kind of dough this is. This is going to be a daily dough. I don't really have a choice in that. with this one because until I either get a new fridge which is bigger or I move my fridge around and change one of the shelves, which currently are all designated for different things, I don't have a shelf large enough to actually put my starter in. So it lives on the windowsill with the window open, so you can probably imagine during the winter that's going to be cold as hell, which is fine. But during the summer it's so hot that it eats through the food so fast, I have to feed it at least every 12 hours. And it's just too much. It's costing too much money in flour to feed it, in the sense of, I mean, it's not costing too much. A bag of flour is 20 pence, you know what I mean? We get at least 3 feeds out of it, so it's not too expensive to feed it. It's not what I mean. I mean, it becomes very time consuming and very wasteful. Because obviously, eventually, if I'm throwing away 300 grams every day of the starter just to make room to put the feed in, then I'm literally throwing money down the drain, and that just doesn't sit right with me. Oh, there's a load of you out there now looking at me going, "Oh, what, stirring again?" It's a different one, guys. It's a new starter. A new feed bowl. New starter. So I seen a guy yesterday, an artisan baker, who takes his starter and then gets like a fresh pot and he puts 1/3 of his fresh starter in to essentially 1/3 of water and 1/3 of flour. It's slightly wetter actually. I think he said he has his a little bit more water than he does flour. And then he just leaves that to rest for 12 hours and uses that as his daily starter for as many loaves as he needs. Now, that to me, I like the idea. I mean, yes, in theory, if you're making batches and batches and batches and batches, then by all means you've got to think it's really creative, because you can't, you know, feed 12 kilos of starter into a 12 kilo starter every day in the hope that you're going to get the same taste. You've got to have some sort of stock rotation on your starters, surely to give them a couple of days worth of recreating and eating and getting some of the flavour back that we've just taken out by splitting it off. And that is the theory that I was going to work on, but until I get somewhere cold to put this, which my kitchen clearly isn't going to be, then it's going to be a 12-hour feed. I tried feeding it half the amount for 8 hours instead, and yes, it works, but then I've got to feed it every 8 hours. So either way, it becomes a bit of a chore. It's supposed to be a pleasure, so that being the interest, obviously. And quite literally, we'll, like I said, get to using it. This is the loaf that's going in a few minutes, and then later on I'll take some pictures and upload them to Discord. May even, well, you'll see it tomorrow anyway when I do my live stream tomorrow, because I'll be eating it still, I would think. Can't imagine I'm going to eat a loaf this size. This is a jumbo loaf, by the way, guys. This isn't my usual size loaf, but I followed the same recipe as all the other guys, and it just seems to have come out a lot bigger than I expected. Now, I fully intended all along to use this tub to shape it with. Didn't intend on using it to cook it in. I am now contemplating cooking it in it. But I don't know whether to leave the lid on or not, if that makes sense. I'm tempted to put some cling film over this bit here, because there's a hole, so it won't be airtight, but it'll let too much steam out if I don't cover that, and it'll all dry out too quickly in there. Whereas if I take it all off and put it directly in the oven, I can put a steam tray in the oven, which will allow it to keep steaming it as it goes through until a certain point, and when the steam runs out, obviously, it'll then crisp up the top for me. But it's a risk, because it's still in the container. so they're going to try and get it out. I also am hoping that it's just going to, like a loaf would, and just crown the top, because that would just be, that would be perfect. And if it works and it tastes good, then we have just struck gold, because that's 300 grams of starter and only 400 grams of flour. So obviously it's a 700 gram loaf, but it's huge. Now that was a 500 gram loaf in a standard tin. A standard tin, Sly, and a standard shop bought off the shelf tin, I should have said. As you can see, it's small. I mean, you can't even compare it to a normal loaf, because an actual loaf tin that you get from a baker or something is twice the size of the one I used to make this. So it's not a very good depiction of what you actually need to be doing. So I'll let this to set for a second. See if there's any lumps in it. I mean, little lumps like this, I'm not worried about. As you can see, it's gelatinous. It's already soaked up the moisture. It will be eaten by the starter. That's not an issue. It's anything bigger than that though, like this here. Oh no, it's two lumps together. It's alright. Switch that a little bit. Shanty's gone live. Oh, Shanty. Shanty loves house music. This is a fact. Right, in this case, because I know it's already stirred and it's already well mixed, I'm literally going to pour this directly into there, because I don't particularly want... scrap that idea. I did one of the sides, but I forgot I didn't clean it yesterday, so tomorrow's cleaning day for this jar. So it's fine, we just do this. Obviously you're not going to fit everything that's in this bowl, in this jar, in the bowl. That would just be crazy to even think that. But that should be enough for now. Take this. Make sure you push all that back down. That's what I didn't do yesterday, and now I have to clean the jar. I clean my jar every few days, to be fair, guys. I know you're not supposed to, and it kills some of the bacteria off, some of the good stuff goes out, and blah 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 blah. But actually, for environment control, it works really, really well. It helps me keep this starter looking good. Before any of you ask, yes, I do suffer with bad wrists and do have a lot of pains, and yet I still manage to knead my dough. So, for all those of you out there that say, oh, I can't do it, that would hurt my hands. Yeah, take it from somebody who's got arthritis in his wrists. It does hurt. But the result's worth it. I will be at some point investing in a mixer and a kneader, like a bread kneading mixer, if you like. But like, I want one that's specifically for bread, so that it does the actual kneading and it's not just a mixer throwing your bread around the bowl. Essentially, from what I can gather, the difference is a kneader has its rotating arm in the center and oscillates in a like this, so it's off center, on center, if that makes sense. So it circulates in the center, but it rotates off center, thus allowing it to get around the whole thing. Make sure you get right down the bottom, guys. You have to make sure you get all the way down here. Look, yeah, you can see on both of them. See the spoon handle all the way down, because otherwise you'll get deposits of flour where they've set at the bottom and they'll rest at the bottom. Also, guys, the schedule is up now, by the way. I sat here and did it on live stream with Miss Latte yesterday. We'll come up with a bit of a schedule. Yeah. There's your wrist to work out. It starts to get thick and consume itself. Right, so that's not done. Appreciate that some of you are at work, so I understand you may be lurking in the background, unable to chat, and that is perfectly fine. Let's stick this somewhere cold. Back on the windsill. Window again. Right, so now we get to put this bread, this loaf, into the oven. This should be good, good, good. Let's get back in the tray. Well, the truth, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is where it could all go wrong for us. Me, mainly. But now you get to see me unveil what we made yesterday, essentially. Trying to figure out where the camera is. There we go. One over here, one over there. So, put cling film on to keep it airtight. And then I put the lid on just to make sure that it was sealed around the lid. And like I said, I'm missing the lid, so but it gives you an added advantage. Because of some of the condensation that's now on the cling film, obviously you don't want to drop water all over your dough, so got two handles to do that. We're going to drip on the middle. Tempted to just put this on here. I know a lot of you are going to say, but it's melted plastic, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I know it's melted plastic. I also know it's cling film. I also know that cling film is made for the food industry in the sense that if you physically put it on top of a jar and stick it in the microwave, it will suction down onto the top of the jar. Anyone who's used it that way will know this. Same principle here. So with a few extra layers to stop it popping inwards. Yes, I think I am going to actually cook it in with the lid on. Good. So, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Just take up these big ones out like this. Good door. It's a good strong door. Oh dear. It's not. It's stick bread. And so, we want some more sesame seeds for the top. Just a little bag here somewhere. There it is. I can't express enough how much flavour comes out of these seeds when they are toasted. Oh, now I have to plug that in. I thought I brought the charger. Oh, no, well, your laptop batteries are crap. Won't go for a few years. Go. Just, I don't want loads of seeds on as such. It's going to go in like this now for the next, what, 15-20 minutes, and then it's going to have the lid taken off. You can't. So say goodbye to you boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This could all go drastically wrong. Fingers crossed it doesn't. Do you know what? Let's check the guy who did the cooking the first time around, and let's just check the recipe's timings and temperatures. With my 3 viewers, my guys and girls. Hope you're all having a good day, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Oh, apparently this one's not signed in. Door. The one. We just need to know what temperature you put his in at. He's in at. Now I think that's going to possibly blow it off the top anyway, and just form a little hole, but at least it'll be a pressurized hole as opposed to just an open steam hole. And I'm still going to put some steam in there. Into the basket. It gives you a better buzz. It allows this to rest. It develops. So we have a little look at it and see that it has proved up a little bit, but it's pretty cold. So what we need to do, bang, keep it heated, and I've got our bang, keep it heated, and I've got our lovely cream cast iron pot. I wish I had a cream cast iron pot. Lid off. We now need to carefully tip lid. It's looking good. Lid back on. Keep it all going. And now this goes into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes without peeping. We'll then take the lid off, let the steam out, turn the oven down. It doesn't tell you what temperature. 15 minutes or so until it's got a beautiful golden brown crust. So that's it. Our loaf is baked. Well, thanks for that. That was pointless. Sorry guys, didn't mean to waste your time there. What I have forgotten to do. This is all not correct with the name. That's just silly. Correct with the name. Oh, that's alright. I hate doing this bit. So Hindenburg, I don't know whether putting this on is a good idea, because I think that's going to expand out the top. Do you know what? We're not going to put this on. We won't. We'll cook it like we would a standard loaf. It's in a thin enough tin. I'm hoping 200 and 2 mistakes there. First thing is I should not have jotted that down. Second one is open the oven to let all the heat out in order to put this on the right shelf. It's like a numpty. I didn't sort it out last night or this morning. So now we've lost some heat. That's a big problem. But maybe it's not a lot. We haven't lost enough heat to worry about it. So I heated the oven up to 150 to allow for this sort of error. I turn it down. As soon as I close the oven to 220 degrees. And then I set my alarm, because otherwise I'll forget. Set my timer. Now, I used to set it for 15 minutes and then come back and check it literally every minute, like a worried father whose daughter's just gone out on a first date. Now, not so much. I have a little bit more confidence in myself. I just start for 20 minutes, come back after 20 minutes. If I'm in the kitchen before that, you'll find me lingering, trying to find out what's going on in there. Because I can't help myself. Oh, and I haven't put a steam pot in. Bollocks. Steam pot literally just holds water and allows it to evaporate into the oven. Create steam. I normally have a little cast iron bowl, not cast iron, stainless steel bowl that I stick in there, but I don't know what I'll do with it, so we'll just stick this in for now. Just enough water to see it through the first 20 minutes. There. Alright, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, that is me done for this morning. When it comes out, I won't be getting eaten straight away anyway. I've got bread there to eat. I might just slice off the end and see what it tastes like. But apart from that, thank you all very much for coming. Thank you all very much for staying. And I will see you all tomorrow on tomorrow's stream, which is on the schedule, guys. If you want to go check that out, it's now up. Let's see if we've got anybody to raid. Ooh, who's on? Let's see who we got. Come on, Twitch, load up quicker. Let's have a look. Who have we got on that I follow? Anyone? Live, but none of them are chefs. They are all, no, 2 DJs and a gamer. Okay. We won't stick it over there. Recommended channels, no. Let's have a look what we got. Oh, we got, no, she's finished. Browse food and drink. Relax and enjoy, no. It's a video feed, I've seen that before. I'm on for suggestions, guys. I really need to turn it down that much. Ooh, let's just come on. Rad cooking battles, no. MasterChef Nazar, Yorkshire Cook-Off, Chicken Tikka. Let's go with that, should we? Let's copy that. Username. Come over to here, we go /raid. And copy, and then paste. 1 viewer, we are off to raid. Thank you very much for staying, and thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see you again. See you tomorrow, guys.